Hello and welcome back to Camp Ash. We will be finishing out the Trisha route now. So as I said before, the killer should be showing up very soon. Very soon. And while Ernesto doesn't make it in the Janice route or the Dale route, I do feel very bad for what's about to happen to him. So just so you know, okay? So yeah, Janice, Dale, and Duke didn't make it. Duke in specific kind of had a weird death. So who knows what him and Janice were getting up to when, they expired. Because that is technically the medical term for when a person dies. It's not, oh, they died. No, they expired. I suppose that out of the 3 deaths, the Janice one hurt Chip the most because it's like, oh, I should have been paying attention to you. I shouldn't have. Basically, the whole breakup part should not have happened, but it happened, and Janice is no longer here. So yeah, he still feels that very deep in his chest. But oh well, you have Trisha. Or do you? Anyways, but yeah, so without any further ado, let us finish out the Trisha route of Camp Ash. Do you want to talk about it, Chip? About what happened to Dale? I'm gonna need a lot more time to unpack all of this, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, but we haven't had a chance to yet, so I just wanted to offer. I don't think talking about it is going to help anyone at this point. Okay. I can't understand the look on her face. The front door to Wickenburg's cabin is wide open, the inside being visible from out front. Shit. What should we do? Help! Miriam screams from inside the building. That answers that question. My paws are on the door in a second, practically pulling it off its hinges as Trisha and I run inside together. Ernesto! Wickenburg's cabin is in complete disarray. Furniture is thrown to the side, papers and clothes lie scattered across the floor, and cabinets are tipped over, with their contents strewn about everywhere. Miriam is on the bottom floor, looking up towards the second floor. Ernesto is against the railing, his face and chest damp with blood. His arms are in front of him, down low and bent, ready for a fight. There is another wolf in the room, upstairs with Ernesto. The man is taller than the red wolf, the other wolf's silver fur clashing horribly with the royal purple mechanic's jumpsuit covering most of his body. A distorted plastic Halloween mask covers his snout and face. The wolf has a thick metal pipe in paw. It's raised high in the air, threatening to come smashing down on Ernesto's bruised snout. The lumbering man takes a heavy and slow swing at Ernesto, the red wolf dodging with grace, with his smaller frame and managing to launch a punch directly to the other wolf's face. Ernesto's fist connects with a sickening crunch, bending and distorting the mask even further. The wolf in the jumpsuit doesn't budge an inch as Ernesto backs off a few feet. The red wolf shakes his fist in pain, bringing his knuckles to his mouth. What the fuck are you, man? The assailant responds with a much more rapid and vicious swing of the pipe. It connects fully with Ernesto's skull, the wolf's arms and legs extending to reach in a near-perfect unison in speed. There is a fleshy crack sound as Ernesto takes the full force of the blow to his skull before his stunned body crashes into the banister. The wood bends and breaks. Half a moment later, splinters fall down to the floor below, in front of us. Ernesto follows them a second later, landing on his head at an almost exactly the same spot the pipe made a dent into. The red wolf convulses and spasms on the ground, limbs extending fully as his eyes roll back into his head. At least he's not paralyzed from that fall. No! We need to get out of here now. The silver-furred wolf begins to make his way to the stairs. His head turns, eyes hidden by the grotesque Halloween mask. His gaze locks directly onto the 3 of us, body seemingly moving on its own towards us as fast as possible. We need to help Ernesto. There's no time. Just get out of here. Chip, help him please. The killer hasn't said anything yet. He just continues to walk forward to us at the same slow and purposeful stride down the stairs. His mask hides any kind of emotion. His eyes, now visible, are still and unmoving. I've seen the face on the mask before, somewhere on TV. We can't help Ernesto. We need to get out of here, Trisha. He's still alive. Looks like he's getting up. Ernesto flails his arms as he tries to sit up. He's completely uncoordinated, a steady stream of blood escaping the crack in his skull. It's like he can't even see us or the killer approaching him. I don't want anyone else to die. We can still save him. I recognize the face of the mask. It's the likeness of William Shatner, the actor who plays Captain Amicus on the TV show Ad Astra. Chip, do something. Should I help Ernesto? So we're up against Michael Myers, basically. And let's help Ernesto. I'm not leaving anyone behind. I'm at the wolf's side in just a few seconds. Come on, Ernesto. We're getting you out of here. The wolf looks at me, his face and mouth moving but no sounds come out. He narrows his gaze towards his snout, surprised as he tries to mumble again. Take my paw. I'll pull you up. Ernesto just stares at me again for a few seconds, his arms wiggling back and forth a few times like he's trying to gain traction, but they don't reach out to me. Blood continues to drip from his cracked skull. Shit! Miriam runs up to us as the masked wolf continues his way down the stairs. Just lift him up on 3. Wait, can we even carry him? 1. Ernesto, come on. 2. Fuck. 3. I do my best to carry the wolf, putting as much strength as I can under his arm so that he can lean on me. Miriam hefts at the same time, grabbing the wolf's pants and pulling up. Help me lift. My veins run cold. I said, help me lift. I get it now. That fear. That apprehension. I shouldn't have yelled at Janice like that. My paws grab Ernesto's waistband and pull with everything that I have left, just as the masked wolf makes it to the bottom of the stairs. He pivots towards us, ruthless and cold. Run! We drag Ernesto with us, the wolf managing to keep himself on his feet. He still hasn't said anything yet. Trisha holds the front door open for our group. Miriam and I take turns shimmying sideways to fit through with Ernesto between us. The sheep runs through a second later, slamming the door behind us. We're leaving now. What about everyone else? They're dead. Oh my god. Miriam's voice is broken and frayed, which almost causes the lizard to drop Ernesto. Keep him steady. Fuck, why won't he say anything? Ernesto, sweetie, look at me, okay? Ernesto manages to follow Miriam's voice with his eyes. Can you stand on your own? We got you in case you fall. Ernesto scrunches his eyebrows and folds his ears down. His mouth babbles a few syllables of gibberish. He hit his head pretty hard, twice. Chip, let him go and see if he can stand. I let Ernesto's weight fall to Miriam, who holds the wolf on shaky legs. She lets go of him and he just barely manages to hold himself still. Follow us, okay? Miriam takes a few steps away and Ernesto manages to hold himself up. The 3 of us start to head down the path, Ernesto stumbling after us on clumsy feet. He still hasn't spoken to us. Is he gonna be okay? The girls look away from me, doing their best not to stumble down the hill. We'll take him to a hospital, I promise. That's not what I wanted to hear. But it's probably the best that I'm gonna hear after the sound his skull made. It's easier running down this hill than it is at the very least. It's a little slow going, waiting for Ernesto to catch up. We make it down the mess hall, having run down most of the way from Wickenburg's cabin. Only for the wolf in the purple jumpsuit to be waiting for us in the middle of the path, a large kitchen knife held reversed in his grip. How did he get in front of us? Ernesto crashes into my back, sending the 2 of us tumbling to the ground. Shit! Come on, you 2! Trisha and Miriam do their best to help us to our feet. The wolf starts to walk towards us, pace even and flat, definitely much slower than we were running. Get up! Oh my god! We make it to our feet in just a few seconds, Ernesto easier to lift this time after getting some of his bearings. Back to the cabins! We turn around and start to make our way uphill. Did you guys get the gun cabinet open? We never even made it back to the office before the maniac was after us. What happened up there? Ernesto and I were looking for the key, in anything and anywhere, and right before you guys showed up, the wolf was there, a metal pipe and paw. He came out of nowhere already on the 2nd floor. What do we do? Where do we go? We have to fight him off. We have to do something. Ernesto couldn't take him out. Then let's get some weapons. Just anything. My words are curt and short. My chest is warm and vision cloudy. Hey, calm yourself, Bronson. We need to think about this clearly. I want him dead, though. Ernesto has a slower time making it up the hill than the rest of us. The silver wolf isn't far behind. I don't know if we can take Ernesto like this. We have to try. Ernesto's eyes are sad and tired, like he doesn't understand why we're dragging him around like this. He looks like a confused child torn out of his parents' arms. Trisha, that man is going to catch up to us at this rate. We're not leaving Ernesto behind. Let us go to the storage shed. Maybe we can find something there. Miriam fumbles with her keys as we make it to the small clearing before the cabins. The masked wolf is right behind us, only a few seconds away. Hurry up! The masked wolf starts to raise his blade high into the air just as Miriam opens the door. We all make it inside, slamming the door behind us not a second later. Barricade the door, hurry! Trisha and I bring everything that we can find to the front of the door. Junk, tables, shelves, all of it gets thrown to the front of us as Miriam catches her breath and a near drive heaves. Ernesto looks on in confusion, his face long with worry. We pile on more junk in front of the door for just a few minutes before Trisha and I collapse to the dirty floor in exhaustion. Miriam makes her way over to the two of us. She's panting hard. She sits down with us on the floor a few moments later, her paws gripping her head tightly. It's hot in the shed, hotter than I can really stand. Trisha isn't doing much better, her wool keeping her warmer than my thick fur. I take off my outer shirt, too stuffy to keep an extra layer on. Ernesto circles around us, whining as he appears to do his best to get to the floor with us. Miriam grabs him by a paw and tugs him down, the wolf legs giving out until he crumbles on the ground. He lets out another pained yell, but seems to calm down after he's next to us. He looks between the three of us, and he tries to talk again, only distorted mumbling coming out of his moving mouth. This is cruel, Trisha. The sheep doesn't respond. Hey Ernesto? The wolf manages to look towards me, his head turning towards a 40-degree angle before he stops himself, the pain in his skull too much after moving his face so far. He lets out another whine. Can you understand me? Do you know what's happening? The wolf looks around again, darting his eyes between the three of us. He mumbles gibberish again. I don't think he knows what's going on. But he's scared. Just look at his eyes. Maybe he's sad that he can't communicate, or doesn't understand how to anymore? Fuck, what happened to him? The wolf looks between us again, then turns his eyes towards a spot on his head that's caved in. He whines and twitches his arm on that side of his body before repeating the same thing a few times. He's hurting. Let me take a look at it, big guy. Miriam brings herself to Ernesto's side and looks at the wound. Shit, it's bad. His skull, it cracked. I think that I can see some of his brain through it. What do we do? We can't leave him like that. He's going to get an infection and die at this rate. I don't know. This is beyond my first aid training. We need a trauma team. He's just in there suffering, hurting, and he can't even talk to us. Oh my God, don't say that, please. We should have let him die. Don't say that either. Do you even hear yourself? Did you not care about him at all? Even after last night? Miriam gives Trisha an ugly glare. I do care about him, Tendrix. That's why I know that he should have died instead of this. The wolf whines again, doing his best to let us know that he's in pain. Is there anything here that we can do for him? Any disinfectant or bandages or anything? Just some dusty old cloth that's been on the floor. That's going to do more harm than good. Ernesto whines in pain again. He sounds like a young wolf pup. Why don't we try to help him sleep? That way he won't be hurting anymore. You're not supposed to sleep after a concussion, I thought. That's not true. And anyways, I think that this is worse than a concussion. Fuck, what do we do then? Should we put him down here? Don't even say that. But should we? What's more cruel than this? Even if we get him out of here, how do we help Ernesto? He's hurting and... Miriam stops herself to cry. And I should have done more to help him. He shouldn't have ended up like this. Or Ernie. I'm sorry. The lizard cries in her paws, completely lost in what's happening. Ernesto brows scrunches up again, both confused about what's happening. At least, I hope so. He's probably more concerned about why we don't stop the pain in the side of his head. Come on, Chip. Maybe we can help him sleep. The two of us sit on either side of the wolf, the man staring at us with intense emotions in his eyes. We're gonna help you, Ernesto, okay? His emotions don't change. Try to push down on his chest so that he lies flat. I'll lie down and maybe he'll get it. I gently try to get the wolf to lean back. He resists for a few seconds until he sees Trisha doing the same thing. It goes well until his head comes to a rest on the concrete. He jerks and twitches as the fragments of his skull dig into the brain again. Shit, what do we do? Let's try again. Try to get him on his face on the other side this time, though. Ernesto lets us manipulate him again, this time with his head on the floor on the opposite side. His body twitches a few times as tears begin to run down his face. He's not whining, though, and his eyes aren't darting back and forth between us. He seems content. I'm so sorry, Ernie. I really am. Miriam is doing her best to soothe the wolf and herself, rubbing the wolf's back as he continues to cry. He gives us one last look before slowly closing his eyes, tears continuing to leak from them. His body twitches a few more times as the wolf tries to fall asleep. Can we leave him like this? What else can we do? We can't just leave him here. Is that even a good idea? To try and save him? We barely know him, but he's a person. His life has value. Would it make up for losing everyone else, at the very least? My stomach feels like it's turning inside out. Whose life is worth what, and how much isn't the point? Then, shouldn't the point be us getting to live? Are we really talking about letting someone just die? About just abandoning him when he really needs our help? This only happened because he was trying to stop that psycho. Well then, we should honor his sacrifice and get out of here. He did this for you, and you're just letting him die? It's what he would have wanted. How can you say that? You fucked him once and now he's your soulmate saving you from hell? Is that why you're clinging to Chip? He fills you up now, he's your whole world? What is going on? We're not gonna die over some men out here. We can't leave a person to die. Well, we're not gonna stick around and watch you die for him. I'm not dying for him. We're going to get out of this. You can't know that, Trisha. You don't know everything. You can't know everything. There isn't any hope for us here, and you're just flushing it all down the drain for what? That's not what's happening. You think that you can keep us safe from the wolf? Miriam, you're not acting like yourself. Come to your senses, Trisha. I don't even know you anymore. Hey, let's all just calm down. Let's take a second to relax. If that psycho isn't in here by now, maybe he can't get through the door. That is a stupid line of thinking, Chip. That's low even for you, Chip. At least they aren't arguing with each other. Then help me think better so that we can all get out of this. The two girls take a few seconds to look at each other before relenting to the plan. What do we do about the killer? He's a wolf. He wasn't here earlier, and we can't really talk to him. He took a punch from Ernesto and didn't flinch. He's trying to kill us. And he already killed everyone else. And did something worse to Ernesto. Then we shouldn't try to fight him. Why don't we try to hide then, until help comes? Yeah, why don't we just lock down the door with everything we got? 2 reasons. One is fire. Fire? If we barricade the door all the way and he thinks about lighting up this old wooden shed, then we'd be worse than dead. What was the second reason? I don't think that we should trust that help is coming. Why? Henry was supposed to be back here over 20 hours ago. Something was definitely wrong on the way up for us two. I really don't understand it still. And we shouldn't try to. What matters is that we're here now, and it isn't safe. Even if we made it back to your truck, there isn't any way to know that we're actually going to be safe, is there? I didn't want to think about it. I just want to leave. What should we do then? I want to go to the assembly hall. It's the biggest building here with only a few entrances to close up. If he lights it on fire, there's enough windows to get out of, unlike here. How do we get there? And doesn't that mean that we're still waiting on help? It's better than being stuck in here. Let's go to Ernesto's shed and try to get something to defend ourselves then. That's a good idea. Does, does anyone want to check his pockets? She looks towards Ernesto. The wolf is sleeping, thankfully, though the odd and occasional twitch is disturbing to look at. I think that we should just let him sleep. He's probably in a lot of pain. So if the plan doesn't work, then we just slip out of here, try to do it, and hope that he wasn't watching. That's crazy. That's worse than trying to break into the maintenance shed. I'm not gonna die here, not like this. Miriam starts to take apart the barricade, tossing aside the furniture Trisha and I set up just a few minutes ago. You can't be serious. There is no good plan, so you're just gonna die? I refuse to sit around and do nothing about it. We need to stop and think. Just like you thought real hard about letting Chip into you? Hey, this isn't the time for that. Why does that even matter anyways? Weren't we over fighting too? Both women give me a look that tells me that I need to stop talking. Enough about that. You knew that it wasn't exclusive. And what's the difference? I'm sure you let Ernesto drop a load off into you. It's different because he's just some stranger. He isn't a friend I've had a crush on for years. I almost asked for them to clarify that Trisha had a crush on me, but I'm pretty sure that the killer just outside the shed wouldn't be the worst part of my problems at that point. I told you that in private. You and me did a lot of shit that doesn't matter anymore in private. Did they? Oh, no. There goes Miriam, the creepy older sister who wants nothing more than to protect me and use me. Whatever will I do? I'm not that much older than you, and it wasn't a problem until you turned into a psycho. Miriam stops, letting the few bits of junk in her paws clatter to the floor. I'm just trying to get you out of here, Hendrix. Miriam clenches her fist. You even realize that something wasn't right at the rest stop. It can't be true. It doesn't make any sense. What are they talking about? You told me not to worry about it. I trusted you. Then trust me now. I can't. They stop arguing again and just stand there. This is getting ridiculous. We're not gonna get out of this just standing around. It's too hot and I'm too tired. Then what do we do? Miriam is right. You and I are going to collapse from the heat. Okay, I agree that we'll start with that, but we need to get a second step before we do that. Let's try Miriam's truck next. If it doesn't work, we can see about the assembly hall right there. Okay, it's better than not having any other options. Maybe we can run that fucker over with your truck more. It's worth a shot. The three of us work on disassembling the barricade as quietly as possible. What are we gonna do about Ernesto? I think... The wolf twitches again. I think we need to leave him here for now. We can lock the door up. He might not do too good in the heat, but we can't carry him all the way down. Miriam gets down on the ground next to Ernesto. We'll come back, Ernie. I promise. She says it to the wolf twitching on the ground like he can hear us. Like he knows what's happening at all anymore. It takes us just a few more minutes to finish getting ready. Ready? She says it in a whisper, head pointed towards the door. I nod back and so does Trisha. This is a long shot, but we have to make it count. Miriam leads the charge, arm braced against the door, Trisha behind her and myself behind Trisha. The lizard creaks the door open slowly, out with a waning summer sun. There is nothing in front of us, only the constant and quiet hum of the forest, of feral animals and insects in the distance, no sign of the wolf in the mask. Let's go. Miriam's voice is almost silent, barely coming off as a whisper from her lips. She takes a step outside, making sure that it's clear before taking a second step. Just as a silver-furred paw of a wolf grabs her by her head fur. It lifts the screaming lizard straight up, holding the heavy-set lizard into the air with ease. Ah! Ah! Miriam! I do my best to push Trisha through the threshold so that I can try to help. He's on the roof above us. The masked man starts stabbing over and over again. Brutal grunts and yells escape Miriam's throat before it's drowned out by her own blood. A trickle of crimson leaves her mouth as she is held suspended in the air, body brutalized repeatedly. He was waiting for us this whole time, waiting to kill us the moment that we stepped outside. A trickle of cool lizard blood splashes between Trisha and myself from above. The sheep hitches forward as I fall back, doing my best not to cover myself in my friend's remains. No, not her! Trisha falls to the ground on the grass, face twisted in remorse and regret. Give her back to me! The wolf discards the body and lands with a wet thud onto the earth. He's lying down prone on the roof of the small shed. Chip, do something, please. Help her. I know what it's like. To watch someone that you love die. To see their body discarded and tossed aside like a toy. I know that there's only one thing that I can do to help Trisha. Run! I make a break for it, through the door, through the threshold for Trisha. The wolf takes a stab at me, but I duck down at the last second, the knife catching my back, giving me a superficial cut. It catches onto my tank top though, shredding it to ribbons as he presses the blade down. I discard the remaining fabric as I skid to my knees in front of Trisha, ignoring the pain in my back to help Trisha up. We're leaving. Come on. We can still save her. We can only save ourselves. I manage to pull the heavier sheep up to her hooves just as the wolf decides to descend from the roof, landing with a thud on the ground. We didn't get a chance to lock the door for Ernesto. Come on, to the truck. Her keys. Get her keys. The wolf is walking towards us now, stepping over Miriam's body like she isn't even there. There's no time. Come on. I managed to get her to run with me after pulling on her sleeve hard enough. She's crying every step of the way downhill. We lose sight of the wolf in no time, the man deciding to walk at an even and unhurried pace. I don't know where to go now. We can't make it to the gun. We can't make it somewhere to defend ourselves or gear up. There's no keys. Everything is hopeless. Trisha falls and trips, sending me tumbling down, our paws linked so that I could drag her away. Just leave me here. There's no time for that. We have to keep moving. I stand up, trying to get her to come with me. Where? Nowhere is safe. Anywhere but the middle of the camp is better. Let's try the assembly hall, like Miriam said. Do you have the keys? Is it still locked? We don't have them. The mess hall. We can grab some water. But Dale's dead. It still hurts to say it. We won't be bugging him none. Just keep moving with me, please. Trisha relents, letting me drag us along inside. I have to stifle my own scream and cover Trisha's mouth after we make our way inside. Dale's body is strung up on the table now, his stomach cut open, entrails covering the floor. Why? Come on. We didn't need to see this. We shouldn't have to come here. I help Trisha to the kitchen, the two of us ducking beneath a few cabinets in the back. Trisha is crying, doing her best to keep it silent. I crawl over the floor towards the sink, doing my best to avoid the splatters of blood where Dale's body was dragged. Shaky and bruised paws manage to get a cup filled with water and make it back to the sheep. Drink. She takes the cup from me, spilling most of its contents as it gets brought to her purse and trembling lips. I should have had some first. It's cold. That makes it better, yeah? The flushed sheep nods, finally calming down a bit. I manage to get another cup and the two of us relax after a few sips of refreshment. The stench from Dale's body in the front makes it harder and harder to keep anything down after a while. We can't stay here. I know. Can we rest for just a little longer? Of course. I sit next to her on the floor, our backs to the shelf, head still down low. She takes one of my paws into hers as we extend our legs, getting comfortable with each other, the sheep leaning onto my shoulder. This might sound odd, but this is how I feel a lot. Scared and hopeless? Kind of. Why does Miss Hendricks feel scared and hopeless all the time? Well, it's not just that, but, well, it's like I was telling you earlier. That weight, that hum. Do you hear it here? I do, now. And I think that I know where I hear it from. Where's that at? When I'm next to you. I do my best not to puke, not to react in any way. What do you mean? That feeling that I get an echo, in some buildings and in my basement, ever since last night. Whenever I'm next to you, I feel it. like it's in tune with your heartbeat. Should I get away from you then? No, it's comforting at this point. You're so comfortable with me after one night that some fucked up curse or something on me makes you comfortable? Well, we don't know that it's a bad thing, just that it happens in my house. A lot. I didn't know that. I don't know how many times you've been over. Usually just on the outside, and usually just for your brother's birthday parties. It usually happens when you're alone there, in that old mansion. Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned something like that earlier, right? It just feels like that loneliness, like it's surrounding you, getting pulled inside. That makes you sound kind of crazy, Hendrix. I know, I haven't said anything before, but it feels like something that I've lived with. Like when my father gets angry for no reason, or my brother. I remind you of the men in your life being violent? Not like that. Like something makes them crazy being in the house. It will only happen when mom isn't home too, or when we leave my brother home alone for a few days, but afterwards they get back to normal. There's some kind of ghost haunting your house that only haunts men? I didn't want to bring this up. Something crazier is happening right here and now, so I'm not gonna say that I don't believe you. Thanks, I guess. Is that why you want to go away for college? No, I don't even think that's part of the reason. I've come to accept it. That there's just a darkness in my house, in my family. That can't be healthy. I think that we should all accept that there's darkness in us. Now you're starting to sound like my dad when he's preaching. Is there not darkness in your father? There is. Well, that's just how he was raised. Isn't that just how you're being raised? I had never thought about it like that before, and how I could just keep this cycle going. Well, that's why I want to leave Echo. Get out and stop the circle of bullshit. It's harder than it sounds. Why's that? Because Echo is a special place. Trisha starts to draw patterns on my arm through my fur. She's acting like nothing is wrong, like we're just some couple on a date. And it calms me down more than anything else has in a long time. It's like it gets its hooks into you. That feels more like my line. Maybe it will be one day. Maybe I can tell it to our kids. I make an exaggerated wiggle with my eyebrows at her. You're such a pervert, Bronson. She laughs, giving me a playful shove. It's like we're not cowering in a blood-soaked kitchen, only a few feet away from the mutilated corpse of my best friend. At least, for just a few moments. We should start looking for a way out of here and figure out what we're gonna do next. Chip. She whines my name. I know. Let's go through some of this stuff and see what we can use as a weapon, if it comes to it. The two of us spend more time crawling around on the floor, going through everything that we can find. There aren't any knives here. I think the wolf might have took them all. All of them? Fuck. There's only pots and pans. Find the heaviest and biggest one that you can swing well. What are they gonna do? More than our fists. Maybe we can block a knife swing or two as well. It takes a bit while we try to keep things quiet, but we manage to collect enough to arm ourselves without causing any avalanche of dishes. I think that I saw a back door in here earlier. We can head out of it in case the wolf is waiting in the front. Sounds like a good a plan as any. We continue our awkward crawl to the back door. It's darker now, harder to see. My eyes adjust well enough, especially out of the water at the very least. Trisha manages to bump into a few things, sheep's eyes not well versed for nighttime travel. Be careful. I don't want him to hear us. Ouch, I know. Just a little bit further to the door now. Ow! Trisha yelps one last time against the wall closest to the door, a loud thud echoes next to her. A single brick from the kitchen wall sits on the ground, a layer of dust covering the floor. How did you... Trisha sucks some air through her teeth. I think it was loose. She looks like she's doing her best not to wince. I check back against the wall, making sure that the whole thing isn't going to come down on us. Shit. There's more than just a brick. A hollowed-out hole sits in between the bricks and outer wooden shell of the building. Should we mess with it? There's some paper back here. I reach my paw into the back, taking out a few scraps of paper along with a box covered in soft, worn fabric. What is it? I can't really see. Give me a sec. I dig through my pockets for my flashlight, pointing it against the wall to limit how bright it is. I flick it on, giving Trisha just enough light to see the paper. It's a series of newspaper clippings. What does it say? It's a story from 5 years ago, about a murderer escaping from an asylum in Pueblo. He was called the Boogeyman Killer by the paper. I didn't know that they had an asylum there. It says that it was a kid, a wolf. He was barely a teenager. And they had him locked up? He killed most of his family one night, just out of nowhere. Fuck. Does it say why? It doesn't. Just that he's missing now, and it's believed to be in the mountains surrounding the area. Shit, why the mountains? It looks like it happened during the summer. Too hot to make it out of the desert, I guess. They have this picture? Maybe we can see if it's our guy. The one wearing a Captain Amicus mask? Well, I'm glad that someone else recognized it. But why is he here now? Did Henry not know about this? Maybe that's what the gun is for? Then it shouldn't be so locked up. Anything else? A strand of white fur. It's wool, but I make sure not to mention it. Should we open the box? Do we need to? Maybe it'll tell us about him? He's just some guy then, right? If the police can lock him up. Only one way to find out. Trisha fiddles with a small wooden box. It opens like it was paw whittled with a dull knife. It takes her a few seconds to get it open. Oh my god. It's nothing but Polaroid pictures. What is it? She passes me the container. It's nothing but pictures of Trisha. Here at the camp. I can't. Please, just tell me how bad it is. There were some of us arriving 2 nights ago. All of us 7 at the campfire. A picture of Trisha playing that card game with Janice and me. Pictures of Trisha sleeping by herself from a window. A picture of Trisha showering, one of her changing into her swimsuit. And one final picture of me having sex with Trisha. Taken from inside the storage closet of the crafts building. I place them face down into the box and don't give it back to the sheep. Well, it was bad. Are they all of me? Yes, you were in every single one. Trisha covers her mouth with both of her paws. She starts crying again, tears trickling down her face. I turn off the flashlight, choosing to cuddle next to her instead. I can't say anything to comfort, I can only be there for her. We're gonna get out of this, okay? Okay. I give her a few more minutes to calm down. Hey, if this is where he stashed his photos, doesn't that mean... We're cut off by the back door opening. The masked wolf is standing there, face unreadable under the plastic Halloween mask. Run! Trisha is on her hooves in less than a second, sprinting towards the entrance. You fucking practice coming at the worst moment, don't you, asshole? I'm scrambling to my feet, doing my best to crawl run away from the psychopath behind us. He catches onto the edge of my shorts just as I get up, his grip unshakable. Chip! The wolf's arm raises up, one of the lost kitchen knives in his paw. Trisha manages to throw her paw directly at the wolf's head, stunning him for half a second. He still has my shorts firmly in his grasp. From extensive practice, I am able to undo the button on my shorts in half a second, managing to flop onto the floor and away from the slow and heavy stab just in time. My head hits the tile kind of hard, my legs trapped in the shorts of the wolf's grip still. How did you... Run! I take Trisha by the paw, dragging her away from the scene. Thank God that I managed to put on my underwear on earlier today. The night is cooler now as we make it outside, less muggy and hot than the previous nights. Where did we go? What do we do? We're ending this, right now, right here. How? The gun. There is no other way. He is obsessed with you. He is not gonna stop. The key, though. We'll find it. We'll get it open some other way. Come on, before he catches up. I lead her by the paw up the hill to Wickenburg's cabin. Ah! Just as we round the corner to the shed on the way up, we're met with a grisly sight. Miriam's body is hung from the roof of the shed, her tail skewered by a knife into the building. Her body is hanging upside down, arms folded into a diamond shape by twine and rope. Ernesto's severed head fits neatly into the shape of Miriam's bent arms. Trisha pukes, losing what little water was in her stomach. It takes everything for me not to spill my guts right next to her. That evil, evil bastard! She manages to compose herself long enough to continue the rest of the way up the steps. We'll get him. I promise you that we'll get him. I take a deep breath in, trying to come up with something to sound cool to her, to help calm her down. Evil will die tonight. She gives me a blank stare for a moment before sighing her most annoyed sigh of hers that I've ever heard in my life. You idiot. Keep running. We jog the rest of the way to the buildings, the shape of the wolf just below us as he gets to level with the sheds. This is it, Chip. This is the only way. I figured that out a while ago. We have to stand up for ourselves. We have to put whatever this is down ourselves. It's been after Trisha this whole time. It wants to hurt her, to scare her, to break her. But I'm not gonna let him. I'm not gonna let him hurt anyone else ever again. Then let's find that key. There isn't anywhere else left to run. We don't have a choice either way. Wickenburg's cabin is the same as before, chaotic and torn apart. It has to be somewhere here. We don't have a lot of time. He knows we're in here. Should we even bother with the door? She isn't helping the mood. Go upstairs to the gun cabinet lock and try to break it off. I'm gonna look for the key down here. I'm not letting you stay close to him. It's me he's after. There is no reason for you to die to. There's a better chance that you can break the lock open yourself too. I don't want to lose you two. I can't be alone. Look for something in the kitchen to break the lock open. I'll help you. It's somewhere to start at least. The two of us are flying through the cabinets, tossing utensils and pots and pans. I'm sure that she's looking for the key too. Trisha tosses a large steak knife from the drawer onto the counter, saving it for later. At least, she's thought about defending herself. Should I take the knife? Look for something that's going to do a lot more damage because you're stronger than me. Does she have the same resolve to stab him, though? Oh, perfect. Try this. The sheep tosses me a metal tenderizer. It's heavy and blunt in my paw. Metal. You might be able to break the lock on the gun cabinet open with enough swings. What about you? Trisha grabs the knife from the kitchen countertop loosely in her paws. She studies it in an upturned paw for a few seconds before gripping the handle in a reverse hold. I'm ready for him now. Trisha. She stops me with a kiss, her free paw on my face. It's soft and warm. Before long, I pull her into me from her back. My tail dips between us and curls around her leg. She drops the kiss, sighing into my open mouth. I'm glad that I got to be with you, Chip, even if it was only for a day. There are tears in her eyes. She kisses me again, and that's when I finally notice that there's tears in my eyes too. Let's get out of this, Trisha. We'll get another shot, a real one. I would like that very much, Bronson. We both pull away from each other just as the front door bursts open, the wolf in the jumpsuit wadding in with a knife and paw. His gaze narrows in on us and marches towards a moment later. Go, Chip, now! My feet are running over each other in seconds as I dash to the stairs. The wolf turns towards me, and by the time that I'm halfway to the second floor, he's already at the base of the stairs. Hey, asshole! It's me that you want! Trisha waves her paws, getting the wolf's attention. He stops his pursuit of me and turns towards the sheep with a 45-degree turn of his neck. The first time that he's shown anything even somewhat resembling emotion all night. The wolf decides to go after his real prey, ignoring me as I make it to the second floor banister and going after Trisha. Trisha! This is the plan, Bronson. Get that lock open. Hurry! It only takes me a few strides to get to Henry's office, my legs giving everything that they've got. My heart is beating out of my chest as I slam into the cabinet from my momentum through the room. I raise the tenderizer high into the air, nearly fully extending my arm. Ugh! And bring it down as hard as I can onto the lock. It scratches the metal of the lock, practically bouncing off. Ugh! I bring it down again, harder this time. The reverberations sting my bones and I nearly drop the hammer. The lock stays ever stuck. Fucking open up! A third strike, directly on the metal again, this time a sideways swing with both arms like a baseball bat. The momentum sends me twirling in the air after making contact and bouncing off. Please! I'm sure if my ears were clogged from adrenaline and fear and the sound of my heart roaring that I'd be hearing Trisha scream downstairs. If anything else mattered to me in this moment, I know that I hear her bones breaking and crunching as that thing tears her apart. I just know it. I know that if I don't get this fucking lock open now, that it's going to kill her. And it's gonna be all my fault. Urgh! I swing the tenderizer one more time, giving it everything that I have. Only for my swing to miss and the entirety of the impact to hit the metal wall on the metal locker. My arms turn to jelly from the impact, the energy all going to the only place it could. Chip! Trisha screams my name from downstairs. My legs are weak, sore and tired from the exertion of the day, an intense and full workload pumped into them getting up here. Into everything crashing again, into the last of my energy as I stumble towards the door, doing everything that I can to save her. Trisha! She's near the base of the stairs, knife in paw as the wolf corners her against the railing of the stairs. There's furniture and junk tossed around to form a trap for the sheep. I have the key! The wolf reacts to her voice, head tilting back at the revelation. I'm coming! I can take care of myself. Stay up there! I stop at the edge of the banister, trusting Trisha fully. The wolf doubles his efforts, raising his arms high to strike. This is for Miriam! Trisha rushes the wolf with the few inches of space that she has left, going for a quick sideways stab underneath the wolf's swing. It cuts into the wolf's side, the hulking form reacting to pain just as his arm comes down heavy on Trisha's shoulder. Ah! Trisha's slack knocks the wolf off his mark, the blade only managing to slice into her shoulder and continues downward as the momentum carries it further, slicing off the buttons on Trisha's blouse. No! Trisha reacts right away, not letting the wolf gain the upper paw. Fucking die! The sheep stabs quickly and efficiently into the opening of the wolf's mask, directly right into its right eye. Urgh. The man stumbles back, reaching at his face with both paws. He collapses onto his back, unmoving. Is it over? I don't know. Throw me the key. I'll get the gun. Okay. Thank you, Trisha. The sheep digs through her pants pocket for a second before producing a rusted key. She tosses it up to the second floor banister with her good arm. I manage to catch it on shaky paws. Got it. Hurry! I'm coming up. I'll be right back. I run back into Henry's office. Key in paw, I fumble with the lock for a few seconds, arms and legs tired. The withdrawals are kicking in, my body practically ready to give up at this point. The key scratches and stiffs the locks a few times, adding even more scratches onto the ones left by the meat tenderizer. A couple more seconds before I fit it in, a turn, the rusty and old mechanism. Chip! Trisha screams from downstairs. I have to get the rifle. The lock opens a moment later, the metal loop still held tight against the cabinet. My aching paws fumble with undoing it from the loop of the cabinet as Trisha screams even louder from before. Got it. The hinges open with a rusty creak, the whole thing practically falling apart. A magazine lies on a shelf. In the next moment, I have the cartridges in my paw and the body of the rifle in my other paw. I'm rushing out of the door, loading the empty gun with practiced paws. If there is one thing my daddy taught me that was good, it was how to use a rifle, how to load it when you can't see, how to keep it clean, and how to shoot it at prey. As my fingers finish loading it and my paw cocks the trigger, I'm finally happy that I spent the time hunting with my paw. I barge my shoulder through the door, rifle drawn and aimed. Trisha! She's in front of me with the upper floor hallway, the masked wolf a few feet behind her, at the top of the stairs, the knife still lodged in his eye. Get down! Trisha hits the floor in a second, my eyes lock through the iron sights, focused solely on the wolf's chest. I pull the trigger and the rifle shoots. A bullet hits the wolf directly in the chest, just a few inches from his heart. The wolf doesn't stop. What the fuck? Trisha is crawling on the floor towards me, getting back up to her hooves as she tries to make as much distance as possible. Kill him! I bring my face down to the gun again and left off another round. Brr. The wolf grunts this time as a second bullet hits his chest. I cock the gun again, a spent shell falling to the floor. Trisha is at my side now, her arms wrapped around me. Is he dead? Rawr. The man rushes towards me, one knife held high in the air. The second knife in his eyes wobbles comically through the slit of his mask. My dad's voice repeats in my head. Always fire on exhale. Don't flinch at the kick either. I breathe out heavily one last time, one last moment as everything slows down around me. I pull the trigger. The bullet flies true, straight through the mask of the wolf, straight through his skull. It doesn't exit the other side. A splatter of blood manages to escape the front of the mask, though. The wolf's arms tense up, trying to pull away of the wound, paws arched and splayed in agony. His fingers grip the mask, pulling it over his head as his body starts to slow down. The wolf's face is handsome, with sharp features. He's no older than any of us here. The man's face goes blank as his body crumbles. He happens to fall in the banister broken earlier by Ernesto and falls onto the ground floor. He lands on his front, the knife sinking deeper into his skull. Was that the boogeyman? We peer over the balcony just to make sure that it's really over. His body is unmoving, more blood pooling onto the floor beneath. I drop the rifle. It clatters to the floor towards the far wall. Trisha stands next to me, her paws trembling. I'm so tired. Trisha leans her head against my shoulder, breathing out a sigh of relief. It's over now. We don't have to worry. The open slash on her shoulder churns in my stomach. Is it really over? We stand like that for what feels like hours, Trisha next to me keeping my mind anchored to reality by the thinnest of strings. I have just one question. What is it, Bronson? Where did you find the key, Hendrix? It was under the floorboards, right where Ernesto's skull hits the ground. Guess he must have broken the rotten plank. So if Ernesto didn't fall off like that, then we'd be stuck here. We'd probably be dead. If I wasn't looking at the body now, I wouldn't be surprised if he got up and walked away. Will things ever be the same? No. Bronson? Yeah, Trisha? I love you. I don't say it back. And that was the end of the Trisha route. And considering the fact that she is alive, I'm pretty sure that that means that it is the good route, or the good ending, I mean, or the one where, you know, technically we survived. And this was very much inspired probably by the Halloween movies, specifically the first one and the second one, I think. Right down to the line where Trisha asks, "Was that the boogeyman?" Because if I recall correctly, in either the first or the second movie of the original ones, the old ones, I don't remember if it was a kid. I think it was a kid. He asks Laurie Strode, which is played by what's her name? Like one of my favorite actresses, and I forgot her name. But he asks her, who's playing the babysitter, who is related to Michael Myers. And she's like, I think she said yes or something. I don't remember really what happened in the scene, but that was basically the scene. And the fact that the mask that Michael Myers wears is a basically like washed out William Shatner mask. And it's also kind of funny that they mentioned Ad Astra, because technically speaking, Ad Astra in the Echo universe is technically Star Trek. So the Ad Astra that you know and love with Amicus, Ad Astra, and Nefero, Cassius, Alexios, Virginia, Camilla, everything else, Marco, doesn't exist in Echo, and instead what exists is basically Star Trek, but with Amicus and probably the other cast. And it's kind of funny because the people that like Ad Astra in the Echo universe are called Dastries or something like that. It's really funny. Like Trekkies, but like Dastries. What else? Honestly, I really liked it. It also is, I like the fact that they were referencing the hum and everything else that goes on in Echo. The fact that there is something inside of Chip, which is, not Sydney, Samuel Ayers, or at least the echo of Sam is inside of him. But yeah. I think this is one of the routes that I liked the most, but it's probably because it's referencing a lot of Echo. But yeah. Anywho, so yeah. That was a fun ride, actually. And it isn't until they are able to push out the next update, which I think I don't remember again if they said that they should have it ready by basically the end of the year or maybe the start of next year. So you won't be seeing Dale, Ernesto, or Miriam's routes until then. So for now, you have Janice, Dale. Did I say Dale? I meant Duke. Yeah, Janice. For now, you have Janice, Dale, and Trisha. But yeah, so you'll have to wait for Duke, Ernesto, and Miriam later. Yeah. Also, it's kind of funny that or you could also kind of tell that there was something going on between Miriam and Trisha. So yeah, I see you girls. Anywho, so yeah, I feel bad for Ernesto. Legitimately in this route, I feel bad for him. Things better go well for him in his route when it comes out, because dude, that was bad. The poor guy. I was kind of hoping he would survive. It's he survived, but he did not survive well. But yeah, anyways. So yeah, write down in the comments what you think so far of the story, and if you're excited for the other 3 routes. And maybe anything potentially okay, now you did all this, now you get to do just Chip. That would be interesting if it's just Chip himself, having to go through what he's going through by himself, and maybe trying to save everyone or something, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, write it down in the comments, and thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play Camp Ash yourself, you can do so by going down to the link in the description, which would have a direct link for the itch.io page where you can download and play the game yourself. They do not have any form of support for this visual novel, but if, let's say, the writer were to ever say hey, I'm gonna open up a Ko-fi for myself, not for anything related to the visual novel, just for myself, maybe we can support them like that, Anyways, but yeah, so also, in case you want to help support the channel, help support me, you can become a channel member, and that gives you earlier access to, these videos as they're being scheduled. It's usually 2 weeks in advance, sometimes a week and a half. It depends. It depends what I'm doing. And but yeah, also, if you can't do that because you don't live in a country that supports that, or because you don't want to, then you could, do through Ko-fi. And there is also Throne in case you're feeling overly generous. But yeah, anyways, so I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.